Student Research Cell Samshodhana in association with Student Development Research Cell, Shodha, presents a two-day virtual global entrepreneurship conclave on 16th and 17th December 2021, and welcome you to International Conference on Action and Tactics for Supercharging Entrepreneurial Growth. A pleasant morning to all from Faculty Research Cell, Samshodhana, School of Commerce, Jain, deemed to be University, Bangalore. All the registered participants will receive an e-certificate after successful participation in the conference. The live streaming of the conference will happen through YouTube. A very good morning to everyone present on this virtual platform of learning. I, Dr. Megha Garud, on behalf of Faculty Research Cell, Samshodhana, School of Commerce, Wing of Jain, deemed to be University, would like to extend my hearty welcome to the speakers, heads, and coordinators of different departments and schools, research team members, students, faculty members, student coordinators, and very importantly, the participants from various institutions in India and abroad. Jain, deemed to be University. Jain, deemed to be University, an intellectual destination that draws inspired students from more than 38 countries to India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore, has been established with an aim to provide quality education and entrepreneurial development. Due to its commitment to learning, research, academia, and entrepreneurial development, National Assessment and Accreditation Council has awarded A grade to Jain, deemed to be University with a CGPA of 3.31 on a 4-point scale. A culturally vibrant campus constituting of students from various states contributed to achieve this award, which bolsters the culture and rich academia traditions of the university. Over the year, the university has made conscious and concreted efforts to build, efforts to build on its strength and consolidate its achievement. A certified ISO 9001-2015 for quality management by TUV Nord, Jain, deemed to be University, is a member of Association of Universities in Asia and Pacific. Jain, deemed to be University, has also been awarded 5-star in the Young University category in Karnataka by KSERF iCare ratings. We are happy to share that Jain, deemed to be University, in partnership with the Association of Indian Universities, is hosting the second edition of Khelo India University Games 2021. School of Commerce. Empowerment of students, enhancement of values, and enrichment of academics. And research has been the hallmark of School of Commerce, Jain, deemed to be University, for nearly 3 decades. The constant innovations nurtured in its various spheres of functioning, which include global tie-ups such as ACCA, CIMA, CMA, CIPS, and empirical learning practices like student immersion programs, entrepreneurs on training and business simulations, amongst others, have categorized the growth of the School of Commerce over the years. School of Commerce has a dynamic set of experienced and research-oriented faculty members who draw students from various countries towards a keen learning environment. In the most recent India Today ranking, the Student of Commerce has secured the 43rd position and 6th rank in the top 10 emerging colleges of India and the 8th rank among the top 10 colleges with the best placement record. Faculty Research Cell Samshodhana. Faculty Research Cell Samshodhana is an initiative of the School of Commerce, Jain, deemed to be university, and is aimed at enhancing research capacity of faculty and students to guide researchers in disseminating, publishing, and applying the research outputs. The faculty cell is instrumental in organizing webinars, FDP, MDP, workshops, national and international conferences. About Student Research Development Cell, Shodha. The Student Research Development Cell was set up in year 2014 with the objective of providing a platform to students to set up its research paper writing and to direct the young, intuitive minds of students in the right direction. Every year, it provides the platform for undergrads and postgraduate students to present research paper, which has helped students to learn and present research papers in prestigious institutes, including IIMA and IIMB since then. The efforts of SRDC will continue to nurture vibrant minds and work towards enriching the experience of students. About today's conference, today people are open to entrepreneurship as a career option. Students from prestigious institutions are opting out of the placement process to set up their own ventures. One important reason behind faith in this discipline is meaningful research, which has promoted changes and has its own to the wide society that the domain abounds with opportunities. Dedicated entirely to the business of growth, the conference will cover actionable strategies and tactics which can be implemented easily to supercharge entrepreneurship growth in 2020-21 and beyond. Global Entrepreneurship Conclave. Entrepreneurship in India has gathered pace, making the country one of the top startup hubs globally. Entrepreneurship has become a long way from family firms to ambitious startups and social enterprises. In the context, the Faculty Research Cell Shamshodhana School of Commerce, Jain, deemed to be university, in organizing Global Entrepreneurship Conclave, which aims to familiarize young students who aspire to be budding entrepreneurs with the nonsense of entrepreneurship ventures. It provides a platform for thought-provoking decisions on pertinent new age topics. The event attracts academicians, research scholars, thought leaders, entrepreneurship professional pioneering, changes to come together to analyze real-world business scenarios, deliberate their social impact, and stimulate meaningful discussions. The conclave gave a golden opportunity to inquisitive minds to interact with and get inspired by these leaders. I now invite Ms. Hartika Mohan to raise the blessings of Lord Almighty.
वाणी वीणा पुस्तक पाणी वाणी वीणा पुस्तक पाणी वांछित फल दे कल्याणी वाणी वीणा पुस्तक पाणी चरिते माते ख्याते सुर नर पूते सुरुचिर सन्मति नीडौदाते माते ख्याते सुर नर पूते सुरुचिर सन्मति नीडौदाते वाणी वीणा पुस्तकपाणि आ
Thank you, Ms. Hartika. The strong and energetic force behind our School of Commerce in carrying out various activities is our respected director, Dr. Dinesh Neelkant. I request Dr. Arminder Singh to introduce Dr. Dinesh Neelkant to the gathering.
Thank you very much, ma'am. A very good morning to one and all, and very warm welcome to all the dignitaries present over there. Every successful person begins with two beliefs: the future can be better and then present, and I have the power to do so, given by David Brooks. We have the demonstration of the same in our Honorable Director, Dr. Dinesh Neelkant. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our beloved Director. Sir is currently working with Jan deemed to be University as a Director, School of Commerce, Director, CMS Business School, Dean of Management, and Director Admissions. A career spanning 3 decades in the educational sector, Sir has contributed many best practices at Jan deemed to be University. Sir has been an instrumental and has been our anchor in various initiatives at School of Commerce. I would now request our director, sir, to deliver the welcome speech. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Am I audible? Am I audible, Aminda? Am I audible? Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aminda. So good morning, one and all, and my namaskara to all of you. The respected Chancellor, Dr. Chandra.
Excuse me, sir. You are on mute, sir.
Excuse me, Dinesh, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Putting such wonderful efforts for doing such a wonderful event. Before I start, I want to correct Megha. Megha has announced that NAC we are being graded with 3.31. So let me announce it, and that is a good news for all of us, for the entire Jain University, that recently NAC came to our campus and we were awarded 3.71, that is A++, which is supposed to be highest in India. So all the credit goes to all my colleagues, the entire university, to the Vice Chancellor, to the Chancellor, and to all the principal officers for achieving such a good grade. So to start with, on a good note, let me look in, first of all, appreciate the efforts of Dr. Smita Kavtekar, Dr. Renu Rathi, Dr. Shamba Gavalli, Dr. Amendra Singh, Dr. Netravati, and Dr. Lakshmi. So thank you very much for putting such a wonderful event. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, let us understand the background. And when we look into the background, what's that one word that sums up 2021 in your mind? So that is tragic, forgettable, unprecedented, turning point, and perhaps all of them. So 2021 tested our resilience and was literally understanding that how things are going to take, you can say that it was all uncertain. And how are we going to work on this? So it was a major turning point. It was a concept of forcing people to change how they live, how they work, how they interact, how they think. And on this background, your entire business was set up. And on this background, how business would have been taken forward. So this becomes the background for today's entrepreneurship, that how your business background is based on technology. And after that, how are we going to take this forward? So with this note, I want to tell all of you that times are changing, things are changing, fortune is changing, and life is changing. And this is how we are going to enter into something called entrepreneurship. So the first thought which came to my mind was that what is to be done and what is to be told on entrepreneurship to the newcomers who are entering into this business. So the first thing which came to my mind was that let them work with an entrepreneur himself and then give their 100% so they get the best out of it. They will, when they give their 100%, when they are giving their life and soul to that particular work. Now you will ask me that the idea of that person and where he is working, that should be the same? Yeah, you can look into that category of where you can work. So when you are putting your effort there, what is going to happen is you will try to understand the gap. And when you understand the gap, at that point of time, an idea erupts. And this idea makes the difference. So what is the first thing which comes to my mind when I say this? That identify the gaps. So the moment you identify the gaps, you will get to know that how to take this forward. I'll give you one example. All of you know this Bhavish Agarwal and Ankit Bhatt, who started Ola. Do you know all of, I don't know whether you may be aware of this also, but let me just brief this. They both initially started a holiday tour planning company. I repeat, Bhavish Agarwal and Ankit Bhatt are the people who gave Ola to us, which is now a household name. Initially, they started a holiday tour planning company. And when they were doing this, at that point of time, they realized that there was one factor which was very dominant. And that factor was every time the family for whom they were planning, they required a cab. And this gave birth to Ola. And that is how they identified the gap. So you have to identify your gaps, and that will definitely, you can work on it. And one more thing is that whenever you have an idea, you should have the idea with a business potential. By just claiming that you have an idea doesn't work. You should have a business potential. Idea is basically invisible. Add value to it.
You got muted, Dr. Dinesh.
I'm sorry. It was the chairman's call, so I had to take that. Okay, anyway, coming back to the point is, so idea is invisible, add value to it, and it makes it visible. Idea never fails. The way it is executed fails. Many a times I have seen, basically the business models on which these ideas work and the implementation part is actually a failure. Idea never fails. And most important thing, I have seen many a times that whenever something comes up, at that point of time in India, you see that people say that this I had actually thought, but I didn't implement it. Isn't it? Many a times we have seen this. We have seen that, oh, this was a concept I had already thought long back, but it didn't work. The reason being you didn't implement it. Let me give you an example. WhatsApp, when it came in, many a time this question came to us that on WhatsApp, we can now send pictures and all those things. You know about WhatsApp better than me. But then there was three engineers who came together and they had called something called Tribe. They were all engineers. They have developed a similar concept of WhatsApp on the engineering side for the designs, for the technical designs. Trust me, that Tribe didn't work, but the concept of WhatsApp today, you know what successful it is. So many a times it has happened that we had an idea, but we couldn't implement it. And when the thing is that we only have spoken about it. So the reason, now you'll say it's very easy to say that you have to implement it, but then where is the money, Mr. So and so? Where is the money? Let me tell you one very interesting thing. Money is secondary in entrepreneurship. The first thing is the idea. You have to believe in it. You have to talk about it. You have to do your homework properly. And I'm very sure then definitely things will work for you. If at all, if you're not going to do and you're just going to sit with the idea, no soul on this earth is going to come in and say with a red carpet, will you please come and we will fund your idea. It doesn't work like this. In fact, tomorrow when students are presenting on the ideas, we have called some venture fund people and they are going to look into that. If at all, if an idea is good, they are going to actually fund it. So something like this will definitely crop up if you have a perfect idea. So idea are very much fragile and they should be nourished. So what is the next step once you have the idea? The next step is you have to get trained on this. You have to do your homework. You have to get your toolbox. You have to learn technology. You have to analyze yourself, get all the skills, avoid wishful thinking that you will become the richest in the world. So that you should avoid, and then decide your company and network. If you are going to look into you have to have a massive network, and I think that that will work. If you work on all these concepts, I'm very sure that it will definitely work for you. Let me give you a small story. There was a farmer who went to a father, the pastor, and said that, I'm poor, I don't have anything in my life, so please help me. The pastor, as you know, that they normally they try to help people. So he said that, okay, we'll do one thing. Now, besides this church, there is a barren land, and why don't you take that land and do something on it? That land can be given to you. Nobody uses that land. The farmer was thrilled and the farmer said, definitely I will work on it. And the farmer started working for 1 year. And to a surprise, that barren land definitely, became the most greenery part of that particular church. Now everybody started saying that it's the best thing what happened. And then the father went to the farmer, and the pastor went to the farmer and said that that's a wonderful thing you have done. And definitely God's grace is on you. At that time, the farmer made a very important statement that, yes, God's grace is on me, but with God, I also worked. So when you say that, when you are putting your efforts into it, God works with you. God will not only work. God and you both have to work to see that the success comes up. And that the concept is that when you put efforts, He starts showering His blessings. So that is how it works. Nothing works only on saying that, somebody will come and help me. It will not work like that. So that is what the concept is. And you have seen a lot of successful stories. You have stories of Karsanbhai Patel, the Nirma, where he found a gap, where he found that he was catering to the middle class, and for the middle class the washing powder was very costly, so he came out with the concept of giving washing powder at a cheaper rate, and today Nirma became a household name. Of course now Nirma is not up to that level, but then they did it. And at the point of time, Nirma was once upon a time a brand which even crossed the the turnover of surf. So that was the success of Karsanbhai Patel. And then you have Phanindra Sama, who thought, a young boy who thought something very interesting, and that was Red Bus. And that his company was taken for 400 crores. So look at this, that how people find the gap and how people make money out of it. But it is not always that everybody is successful. There are unsuccessful stories. So whenever we get into entrepreneurship, it is very interesting that we have to look into the successful stories and unsuccessful stories. And then you find success. That is how it works. So I think in this particular seminar, we will be listening to a lot of delegates, and we will learn so many things out of it, and that will definitely be helpful to all our students and all our colleagues. So best of luck to the seminar, and I'm very much, once again, I am thankful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity in such an August gathering to present my views. Thank you so much. Over to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your words, with an inspiring story. I now request Dr. Arminder Singh to introduce our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Raj Singh, to the gathering.
Thank you very much, ma'am. An inspirational and a great motivator in driving the faculty and students of Jain deemed to be university is our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raj Singh. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Raj Singh Jain deemed to be university, has more than 39 years of experience with a master degree in economics and qualified CFA and PhD in strategic finance. A TEDx speaker, Dr. Raj Singh is known for his oratory skills and innovative approach in higher education. An academic administrator, teacher, consultant, trainer, speaker, and academic entrepreneur. For 10 years, sir, has been the Vice Chancellor of Ansal University, Gurugram, Riyadh Bhara University, Mohali, GD Goenka University, Gurugram, MET University, Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, and MET University, Jaipur. Before that, sir was a pro-vice chancellor at MET University, Noida for 5 years, director general of the prestigious MET Business School and founding head of ICFI Business School, New Delhi, from its inception 1995. He also served the Indian Air Force at the age of 16 years from 1981 to 1994. Widely traveled and a visiting professor at IIT Delhi and Delhi School of Economics. He has been an advisory board of many institutions and universities, Educational Promotional Society for India, and was a vice chairman of Quality Committee of Education of Government of India. He regularly chairs the expert committee of National Board of Accreditation and was a member of the first governing council of Rajasthan Science Congress, member of Council of Skilled India Entrepreneurship. He is a member of HE Committee of FISI. He has been a trainer and a consultant to both India and multinational companies like Tata's, Air India, Telecom Consultant of India, Denso India, NTPC, GAIL, SAIL, and have been trained over 4,000 teachers in schools as well as in the higher education. Sir has represented India along with BRICS countries at the International Design Summit held in Italy 2013. Sir has published and presented research paper and delivered keynote addresses in over 80 conferences, and have been a panelist in many TV shows, featured as one of the movers and shakers on Daily Word Post and My Icon on FM channel in 2016 and 17. Sir has been conferred award for exemplary educational leadership in 2012, 2016, and 2017. And with Peter Durker Memorial Award of Excellence on November 19, 2020, for his contribution to management education. Since January 2020, he has been an advisor and a consultant to 5 universities across India, including Jain deemed to be university. A very hearty welcome to Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Before overing it to with sir, I would like to quote few lines for you. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Given by John Maxwell. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Amrinder. Distinguished Dr. Dinesh Nilkant, Director of CMS Business School and CMS. The keynote speaker of the day, Ms. Mandeep. My dear colleagues, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, thank you so much for having me here. Heartiest congratulations, Dr. Dinesh and your entire team for putting the conference together. And I know what efforts it takes to put together a conference of this order. I'm not here to talk so much, but when I saw that Ms. Mandeep was the keynote speaker, I came to welcome her. Hearty welcome, Mandeep. I can see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted not because I'm here to welcome Mandeep, but doubly delighted because listening to her will be a complete lesson on entrepreneurship. I've known her since 2016. I have been to her office. I have met her dedicated team. I have been to her village, which makes her enterprise very, very distinct from others. And the lessons she will tell you, perhaps they don't teach in college and universities. Because more than meeting her and her respected parents, who've been like backbone of her entire enterprise, I'm also updated on what kind of difficulties you face during the way on this journey of entrepreneurship. It's anything but what you put on paper. Of course, paper and the business plan are extremely important. But as Dr. Dinesh was saying, entrepreneurship is all implementation. When you start implementing, when you hit the ground and you get going, that's where the real challenges come in. There are lessons, important lessons to be learned by all of us in academics, particularly the gaps which Dr. Dinesh talked about, identified, implementation talked about. He gave many examples that how gaps were identified and the new ventures were created. But I think it also requires a desire. The same gap you can fill by working in different areas. And I think that's what symbolizes the distinction which Mandeep carries, and she'll be talking to you today. I think before you identify the gaps and make a plan and implement, to my mind, entrepreneurship is something which I learned from a lab called Life, a lab called Real Life, in fact. Because paper and real life are very, very different. So in fact, that gap is also equally important, not only in the functionalities of products and services and what the people at large need. Today, of course, those gaps could be filled easily with latest technologies available with ease from across the globe. But I'm talking about the softer issues. And then towards the end, I'll touch upon what we as universities and institutions need to do so that these gaps could be identified and filled. I think entrepreneurship also requires a heart, which I think thinks of the people first, then the product or the problem, because the people who will be working with you, and you have to just lead them, motivate them, follow up with them, and rest will be executed by them, show them the path. It requires a way of life, which is different from normal way of life. And that's why entrepreneurs are scarce. They're very few in numbers, and the success rate is not very, very high. Because if it was so easy, we wouldn't be having success rate of 2 to 3% globally. We would be definitely having success rate, which is much higher. Entrepreneurship is something which has to be taken up by choice. It's not a bed of roses any case. It's a very, very difficult path one has to tread. And for that, I think making a choice is extremely important. It is fulfilling those expectations of everyone which they place on the innovation system of the country. And innovation system of the country is not complete without academic institutions. It's not complete without those who provide financing, those who provide mentoring, but I think more than that, those who motivate. It's meeting the expectations of all those people. At the universities, when we design our education system, it becomes important for us to fulfill those expectations. And as has been emphasized, particularly in the last 10 years, to create an ecosystem of entrepreneurship through universities, I think we need to bring people together, and particularly people who are not normally noticed, because creative ideas most of the times come from the most unexpected people. University of Berkeley calls it a collision of unusual suspects. We suspect people that they can be innovative, they can give us good ideas. We have known their academic track record, we have known their success in careers. But I think the most unusual suspects give you the ideas which lead to enterprises. It's the collision of the creativity those people bring in, and creativity leads to innovations. One of my friends told me he was an entrepreneur in Chennai, and he defined innovation his own way. He said innovation is something without which we lived till yesterday, but it won't be possible to live without it tomorrow onwards. That's in real sense innovations. And when these innovations come together, we create new ideas and enterprises. So I think as universities, our first and foremost duty is to bring together people. And that's where the teaching learning process have to change and change drastically. The second thing for the university I have to point out is that we as academics are often notorious to have a very well-defined and well-structured path. And mind you, when we want a well-structured path to be given to us, the meeting of unusual suspects will not take place. The breeding ground will not be as fertile as it would be without leaving it desirably loosely defined. And therefore, definite things, to my mind, kill creativity. We need to keep it unstructured to some extent deliberately. It's only then when unconventional things happen and people brainstorm ideas and come up with something new. And therefore, if we have brought them together, I think we need to give them the desired freedom, the flexibility, and tolerance for failures, because we cannot expect everything to be as desired, particularly in entrepreneurship. We can, yes, through structuring, we can increase the chances of success, but we can't guarantee it. So I think it's the ecosystem which we create in which people breathe and bring these ideas together and create something innovative. I'm sure all the speakers during the conference, all the presenters during the conference will give you ideas, will share their experiences. As I said in the beginning, there is no better lesson than listening from the people who have done it. It's said that listen from the horse's mouth. And one such person is available amidst us immediately. And I'm sure during the conference, many more will be there. I wish everyone great success. I congratulate each one of you to first think of this idea, because it bodes very well with the university's intentions. And if I may just mention, as Dr. Dinesh said, we have been ranked A++. Entrepreneurship feature was one of the things which was most appreciated by the peer team, which visited us on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd December. And we need to pursue it more vigorously, more deliberately, and more institutionalized manner. I'm sure each one of us is geared up, and conducting such conferences has to happen more often, because only then we will be able to create that ecosystem where everybody will think about it. And if we are able to do this, we'll not only solve the problems of the educational institutions, I think we'll solve the problems of the society, of the community, and the industry. Governments after governments, since independence, have been talking about poverty alleviation. I think the solution lies in the universities. If we are able to create this kind of ecosystem, we will be helping not only ourselves and the community, but also the governments of the day and of the future. So once again, very warm welcome, Mandeep Madam. It's such a pleasure to see you after a long time, and we really look forward to your patronage as we undertake this journey, and look forward to listening to you. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights. Your real-life examples are always a good learning for us. Best wishes to the conference and participants on behalf of our Chancellor, Jain deemed to be University, and Founder Chairman, Jain Group of Institutions, Dr. Chainraj Roychan, in absentia. Dear participants, we are now moving towards our first session of today's conference, a keynote address session on entrepreneurship, ocean of opportunities. I request Dr. Arminder Singh, Associate Professor, School of Commerce, Jain deemed to be University, to introduce our keynote speaker for the day, Ms. Mandeep Kaur Sidhu.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Success isn't about how much money you make. It's about the difference you make it in the people's life. Madam Mandeep Kaur is a founder and CEO of series of ventures, mainly Simba Quartz, an IT services and digital marketing company located in village Tangra, a rural location in Punjab. She is an MBA graduate and university topper from LPU. There are nearly 100 plus employees working along with her. Ms. Mandeep has appeared as a speaker twice at TEDx, corporates, the United States, IITs, IIMs, and many other elite institutes delivered topics on entrepreneurship and digital marketing. Her articles were covered in Corporate Social Directory by Astrom India alongside other prestigious brand TCS, Rolls-Royce. Under her humanitarian work, she has successfully organized 500 plus shoes giving and food sharing campaigns. Her venture has been awarded as the upcoming startup of the year 2016 by Astrom India and received an alumni award for social entrepreneurship in 2019. She was also a university ambassador for the year 2020 for LPU. Ms. Mandeep has been recognized at various stages more than 400 times, and more than 1 million people follow her work on social media. A very warm welcome to ma'am, requesting you to deliver the keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amarinder and Dr. Dinesh and Dr. Raj especially. He's a great mentor to me, and I must say, see, I'm very straightforward person. I say what I feel. So you guys are very, very lucky that you have got Dr. Raj, because he is really having a very good experience, and definitely, I also want to share that he's among my top mentors. Anytime I need some help, I need some advice, I always try to talk to him, try to reach him. And there are very less universities who are now focusing on entrepreneurship, and which is the solution to the problem of the country, I must say. So we have another 25 to 30 minutes. So I will start with my own journey. I will be talking both in English and Hindi so that I can express myself even better and I could reach to the hearts of the audience. So my name is Mandeep Kaur Tangra. I have recently changed my name. Tangra is the name of my village where I am born and brought up, right? So it is around 30 kilometers from the Golden Temple, Amritsar. My father runs a small flour mill in the village. मेरे पापा की आटा चक्की है गांव में. और my mother and father, they always had in their mind कि अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाना है. Just like, I am very thrilled to see a good number of audience today. So बहुत सारे बच्चों के mind में होता है कि my papa is not a big businessman, my mother is not a big businesswoman. हमारे पास बहुत सारे पैसे नहीं है. So my journey is an example that you don't need money to be successful. You don't need money initially to be a crorepati in your life, and everything can be fulfilled. And recent example you have seen, this Harnaz Sandhu, one of the girl from Chandigarh. See how she has fulfilled her dreams, have reached to Miss Universe just at the age of 21. And listen to her interviews, you will come to know that how focused people are. So what I have learned from my life is that focus, patience, is something which we need to have. So a lot of kids, I was traveling daily from my village to my university. मैं उन बच्चों में से हूँ जिन्होंने कभी कोई भी लेक्चर नहीं मिस किया अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में. It is a very big thing that in 5 years, while doing my BBA, MBA, I was traveling every day more than 120 kilometers by bus and by train. And sometimes I used to have my 20 rupees with me, and वो भी tension लगी रहती थी कि ये भी ना घूम जाए, right? So from that kind of background, and all my exams in every semester I have given in lot of stress. तो उसी से शायद मैंने आज I am able to handle even more stress, because every semester I used to top, and every semester I used to be stressed कि यार मैंने पूरी फीस नहीं दी अभी, right? So why I am sharing this, that you might be in any situation right now, you might be in any problem right now, you might be facing any issue right now, but it doesn't mean कि जिंदगी में सूरज नहीं होगा or you cannot reach where you want to reach. So I was very passionate to prove this to my own self कि money is something which is secondary. So first thing every student should have in his mind, even if they want to go abroad, or they want to do some job, or they want to start their own business, that to be successful in life, you don't need money initially कि पहले पैसे होंगे तो फिर ही होगा, right? So I am a clear example where money came secondary, but I applied my mind, I was passionate enough, I was focused. I gave 10 years of my life, focused years of my life, around 10 years, to reach to an employee number of 100. I know it seems to be a slow journey, but it's my own journey. It is not the journey from, I have taken money from people or I have investors in my firm. Everything has been done on my own. So when I was a student, I always, had a spark in myself to do something of my own. But घर के हालात में ऐसे हो जाते हैं and your parents also expect you to do a job and आपको experience भी कम होता है. So I opted for a job. So when you are in a student life, you want to be an entrepreneur, but you always have this, in your mind, whether I should go for a job or whether I should start a business. I should immediately start a business or I should immediately go for a job, right? So you are in that phase. But like me, I have done job for 2.5 years and then started off with my venture. So many people can choose that way also. In such a way, you learn from the corporate as well as you earn some money to invest in your own business. So, that could be one way. Very happy that, these conclaves are going on entrepreneurship, because being 10 years in entrepreneurship, being 10 years in my own journey, I also learned that this is a one way of solving different problems in the country, because we have a lot number of youth. We are very rich in that in terms of the manpower we have in our country, but we are not creating jobs for them. So I stay in a village. And when I started my IT services in my village, everything was very difficult for me. आप गांव में चले जाओ आज और आप सोचो कि वहां पे जाके मैं IT सर्विसेज की कंपनी खोलूंगा जहां पे रिएक्ट में कोडिंग हो रही है, जावा में कोडिंग हो रही है, इंडिया के टॉप इंस्टीट्यूट से बच्चे आ रहे हैं, तो थिंक कि वो कैसे पॉसिबल होगा, राइट? बट जब तक हम सोचेंगे नहीं तो पॉसिबल जो है वो हो भी नहीं सकता. बट आई थॉट दैट इन माई ओन विलेज. मैंने अपने गांव में बैठ के ये सोचा कि आई कुड हैव एन IT सर्विसेज कंपनी हियर. मेरे दिमाग में ये ख्याल कैसे आया? बहुत सारे लोग मुझे पूछते हैं कि आपने ये सोचा कैसे कि आपने गांव में ही करना है? हम 30 किलोमीटर 50 किलोमीटर इधर उधर जाके सिटी में भी कर सकते थे. बट वेन आई सॉ माई ओन सेल्फ, जब मैंने अपने खुद को देखा कि आई हैव स्टडीड विद सो मच ऑफ डिफिकल्टी इन माई लाइफ, बट आई हैव टॉप्ड माई यूनिवर्सिटी. मैंने यूनिवर्सिटी में टॉप कर लिया है एंड आई हैव lot of respect I gained out of it, good jobs I have done. So I saw a little transformation in my life where I started earning so well. I bought my first car from my first job, right? So from there it came to my mind that if people of my village will have more opportunities, they can also become Mandi. They can also become better than Mandi. So it is one of my biggest stand in life, where my husband is also in US, and I have lot of opportunities to be in any city of the country. I can invest my money, I can have my business there, but still I chose to be in a village where I was born and brought up, and the vision of my company is changing lives. So people ask me, what is the idea behind changing lives? When you will be here in my campus, you will see changing lives on the diaries. Everywhere we have done the branding. So by changing lives, I mean somebody who is earning around 6,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. They are in a learning process in my company for 4 years or 5 years, and then they are earning more than 50,000 in my company, and they are improving their lifestyle in the company. So we have done this for many people in our company. We create jobs here, we train people here, and then we teach them such courses where they can earn well, where they can have a job of dignity. There are a lot of employees in my company who might be from similar families as I am, but they have observed a change in their life, that yes, I can earn 50,000 being at home only. I can earn 40,000 being in my own village. So that is something where I am working upon. I faced a lot of challenges also during my journey. In 2015, there was a major setback in the company, and out of my 22 employees, 21 employees, mass resigned because they thought कि अब company का कुछ नहीं होगा आगे, she cannot do it, we have failed. This is what there might be in their mind. Then in 2015, I again started my company with one employee, and that one employee is still with me today. I still have that one employee, but I don't have those 21 employees who left me, who thought that this cannot work. And in COVID times, in 2000 and before COVID times, like in 2019 and 20, we were a very profitable firm. So we have grown organically. We never took loan in 2019 up to 2020, and we were very profitable. We were paying huge tax. I was feeling very pride in that sitting in a village, people ask me कि मैम आप पूरे रीजन में इतना सबसे ज्यादा टैक्स पे करते हो. So that was the stage. And during COVID times, so everybody wants to become rich. सारे सोचते हैं कि मैंने rich बनना है. So now you tell me that what richness actually is, right? In COVID times, I took loan for the first time in my company, where I had an option to lay off my employees or either give them less salary. But in COVID times, I didn't fire any of my employee. I gave a hike to all my employees in COVID. So I was covered in on different publications. I was covered, my story was covered on that it's such kind of venture where in COVID times, where in tougher times, I paid everybody, we gave a hike to our employees. So who is richer? Somebody who is having a $1 billion company and laying off, recently we had example of better.com where they laid off around 1,000 employees just on Zoom, right? So India needs social ventures because our audience, our people are emotional. So they're not cutthroat. So we cannot have simply, if I talk about this university also, if you are just doing a course and you are just getting a degree, and there are no entrepreneurship conclaves, nobody is interested that आपने कुछ बनना है, आपको businessman बनाना है, आप कुछ कर सकते हैं, तो सिर्फ business ही करी जाए, तो that kind of venture is not required in India. That are not for the people of India. It is purely a business. But India needs social entrepreneurship, where we are concerned about, as Dr. Raj said, we are concerned about people first. Then we are working on developing and innovating processes, business model, that how the business should be around the people of the country. The business should not be that people should be around the business model. And we are first creating a business and then we are asking people to work for it. It's like first you think of the people in your village, in your city and around in your country, and then you build up a business that this kind of venture is suitable. So I feel pride in this, that we have employed more than 100 people in our village. And whenever I tell this story to different people, they are shocked. They say how people can come, 100 people can come to a village. And then they are BTech computer science people. They are MBA in marketing people. So I have my own logistics here. I have my own buses of the company, where the company guys pick people from the cities and then they bring to my village, and here we are doing everything. So I never gave up in my life. I already told you, in 15 there was a major setback. Almost all employees left the company, but still, I started with one again. In COVID times, I had a courage to take loan just to pay off salaries to my employees. And now we are a team of 100 people. I have got great opportunities in life. That is, I have been to TEDx. I have been to all prestigious institutes. So life has given me everything, where I always wish to give back in the form of changing lives of people. कि उनकी जिंदगी में बदलाव आए, वो ये ना सोचे कि अगर मैं दुबई या मैं कनाडा या मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाऊंगा तो फिर ही मैं घर पे 1 लाख पे कर सकता हूँ, अदरवाइज मैं नहीं कर सकता, राइट? सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट सच अपॉर्चुनिटीज. अब जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया या ड्यूरिंग माय जर्नी, there was no lease line in the village, the fixed internet we need, the fastest speed we need to run an IT company. There were no courier services here, but best of the brands, Airtel, Blue Dart, the best of the brands helped me in my village to set up the infrastructure. So if you write to them, if you write your story to them, everything could be made possible. 10 साल पहले मैंने भी कभी नहीं सोचा था. My first job was, I was getting paid around 25,000 for the first job I did. So I never thought that after 10 years I will be having 100 employees where, and 10 years back I was just an employee of one of the company. I never had enough money in my life. I never had lakhs and lakhs of rupees. But yes, I was very, very consistent and culture oriented in my firm. So लोग आपके प्रोडक्ट के कारण, आपकी कंपनी के कारण आपके साथ नहीं टिकेंगे. They will be with you because of the culture you have developed in your company. And listening to my stories, how I am operating in my village, social media also helped me a lot. Lot of people got in touch with me. I have been following by over 1 million people on social media, so it's not a small number. I'm not a celebrity, or I'm not a singer, or I'm not an actor, where people get attracted towards us and they are following. They are just following the story we have, something different, unique we have done, sitting over here in the village despite a lot of opportunities everywhere. Now also a lot of people ask me, are you thinking to be in a city, to have your campus in a city or move to a city? So definitely no, I don't have plans to move to different cities in terms of taking everything to a different city. But I want to be more in the depth of this village. एक चीज मैंने आपसे शेयर करनी थी कि how the ecosystem changes when you have a venture at a particular place. For example, we take example of milk. Every month we buy milk for like 40 to 50,000 rupees, and then I can also buy milk directly from Amul or any of the brand, and we can order, packets from a particular brand, and it's so easy to keep, to place, and to use in the company. But we are, taking milk from different homes in the village. People have started investing in dairy business because they know that यहाँ पे जो है people need this product now, and ab thodi, this company needs milk for 100 employees, 100 guests every day. So this is what is happening. So this is a one small example that how it is. Then there is no PG culture over here. People are not staying paying guests in my village earlier, but now people are building homes. They are building extra rooms in their home where people want to earn by having my employees in their home. And this is how the income starts. And on this Diwali, what happened, that few shopkeepers came to gift me because they said that your staff comes to our shops, right? So this kind of change, even I have got opportunities that my venture was getting acquired. I could be a crorepati, just in a day, because IT companies are very much in demand. Everybody wants to buy out a IT company. I can have a good value for my company. But I know once I sold my venture, the way we are picking up milk, it will change. The way my people are staying, it will change. So there will be inside canteens in the campus. So a lot of things will change. And how I am trying to change life of people by training them so hard, by motivating them so much, the bigger companies might not be having the same thought process. So when you have so good intentions, nobody can stop your success. Even the money cannot stop your success. You will keep on getting good people in your life who are continuously, they are supporting you. So I'll quickly go through a few points in next 5 minutes, that how it is an ocean of opportunities. Already I have explained you my journey, where you could see that how I got so many opportunities in my life and how I'm exploring every angle. So if we even talk about the customers, because of my story, I have a good presence of social media. I have been to TEDx. So now people from every part of the country or from every part of the world, they want to work with us. So I am blessed with such kind of venture where demand is very high than the supply. I have enough customers, I don't need to do any marketing, I am getting repetitive orders also. So currently sitting in a village, where the bus was not even stopping. जब मैंने उतरना होता था अपने गांव में, तो वो भी मुझे आगे पीछे बड़े स्टेशन पे उतार देते थे कि आपके गांव में बस नहीं रुकेगी, right? So that kind of situation. But today this village is serving every country in the world, every good place in the world, sitting in our office in a village. So uh, the world has become boundaryless and limitless. आज आपको 30 लाख खर्च के कनाडा जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Through internet you can access any part of the world, and through your business you can travel to any part of the world. Just shortcut success, अगर हम चाहेंगे कि 3 years में मैं successful हो जाऊं, 5 years में मैं करोड़पति बन जाऊं, तो that is not possible. So there we need to show our patience. Everything comes with time. I got my first credit card by depositing 50,000 to the bank, and then they gave me credit card. And today I have n number of credit cards, and any amount I want in my credit card, then आप टेबल के उस पार आ जाते हैं. जितनी आपको 10 साल पहले आ रही होती है, अगले 10 साल में everything changes with time. So if you choose entrepreneurship, you can explore your own self. 10 years before, I was just a student. I didn't knew that I will be having 100 employees in my company, and I will be growing so faster at such a faster pace, right? So in entrepreneurship you explore your inner self, कि हम कहाँ तक जा सकते हैं, हमारे में कितनी क्षमता है, कितनी ताकत है हमारे में. Then you become financially sound, your standard of living raised, and you feel proud and satisfaction. See, there was a time when I was just wearing 3-4 t-shirts, me and my brother, when I was going to college. My classmates also used to come on cars, and many things we feel when we are a student, right? And today I can buy any car I want, I can wear anything I want, I can have any phone I want, right? So this doesn't come through luck, this comes through consistency and so much of hard work, that one day when you will have money also, then also you will not spend. You will say ki nahi, you will reach that level that satisfaction comes from something else, it doesn't come from materialistic things. And you get a lot of learning opportunities, and you create a lot of job opportunities for your area, for people around. So then you get to develop a new business model which could be repetitive and which could be copied, and which somebody can start in their own village or own city also. So the kind of thing I have done, IT companies are thousands and thousands of IT companies, but there are rare IT companies in the heart of villages. There you develop a new business model which could be copied, and it is an opportunity for more people, more entrepreneurs to adapt this successful business model and start in their own villages. So it doesn't mean that I have developed a successful business model in my village and it is up to me. Anybody who wants to do similar thing in their own place, I am ready to guide, and I am mentoring a lot of people who are working on IT companies in their villages. and you become the icon of change, of bringing change. जो change की हम बात करते हैं कि change लेके आओ, change लेके आओ. So you become the icon of change when you choose a different path in your life. जब आप रास्ता ही अलग चुन लेंगे तो आप change के icon जो हैं वो बन जाएंगे. Then you help a lot in developing your community. आप जैसे मेरे गांव की बात कर ले, so somebody immediately needs some financial help, or they need a car, there is an accident, so we can help them immediately. We are raising the standard of people in and around our village. Girls who can never go outside to work, and today they are earning so well. How proud they feel, and they are getting such a good environment in the village. Many of the people might not be having ACs at their home, but in company they are sitting in an AC room, perfect laptop, good seat, good culture. So that is something which we need to create in our villages. And when you become a successful entrepreneur, or you reach a certain level, you then become an investor too. You start, क्योंकि एक entrepreneur के जो traits होते हैं, that could be copied and it could be applied to any venture. An entrepreneur is not successful because of his idea or because of his kind of products or services. He is successful because of his his work on his traits. उसके जो leadership skills हैं, उसके जो decision making skills हैं, उसके जो motivation skills develop हुए हैं, उसके कारण he is a successful entrepreneur. And then you can also choose to invest in other businesses. You can choose to be an angel investor. So this journey never ends. And when you are when you become, suppose I have developed a good business model for 100 people for an IT services in a village, and now I am clear that this is a never stopping journey, and IT is going to evolve and evolve for forever. And I can only see the growth of the company in next 50 years, that this company is going to flourish like anything. There is nothing which can stop us. And when you take much time initially, like I took around 10 years initially, you set up a very strong foundation. I was never in hurry. So I have lot of Mandeeps in my company, where my people, around 8 to 9 people out of 100, can handle the company in a similar way like I am doing. So that is something which is also required. So at last, where I want to sum up, that is, see, I never had an angel investor in my company. I never have gone for a VC funding, and I never, accepted the option, that my venture could be acquired by a bigger brand. अभी मैंने इसमें से कुछ भी नहीं किया, एंजल इन्वेस्टर भी नहीं किया, VC फंडिंग भी नहीं किया, और अपना वेंचर बायआउट भी नहीं करवाया. But I have all three options because my company is a profitable company. It has done well in 2019-20. Before COVID, we were very, very successful, and everybody wanted, a chunk of it. So, but when you start entrepreneurship, when you start your venture, when you think to start your business, तो सबसे बड़ी गलती हम यही करते हैं कि हम दूसरों के पैसे से start करना चाहते हैं. We want पहले पैसे आए and then we will do business, right? So that seriousness, that passion doesn't come. So slow growth is a good growth. Organic growth is a good growth, because there you don't play with the lives of people. You become a richer company in a certain way in terms of your values, ethics, where you can be in a contained environment with lesser risk. But once you complete your first 10 years, first 5 years, or जहाँ पे भी आपका breakthrough आता है, from there, now it took 10 years to come from 1 to 100, but to come to 100 to 1000, it might take only 3 years, right? So, that is something which is very much required. So, keep working on yourself and keep creating opportunities for yourself. And it's a beautiful journey. It's a journey of transformation. And I, suggest most of the students that if they have interest that they want to start with their own businesses, definitely they should choose this path, because by this you can change the lives of people and you can change our country. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for encouraging the young minds with your views. It's a privilege to initiate the conference listening to a successful women entrepreneur. The participants can now ask their questions in the chat box. Before that, I request all to switch on your videos for the photograph. The link for the feedback form will be sent in the chat box. You're requested to fill it and submit it by the end of the session. I request participants to raise their questions.
I think before this questions come in, I can only thank Mandeep for absolutely inspiring story of her business. And initial days, I remember that loveliest gift I ever got in life was of mint leaves, from your own backyard of the office, in fact. Your motivation to many, in fact, I've seen people follow you on social media. They cite your examples. They get inspiration from you. I'd only say all the best. Keep doing well as you've been doing, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I would love to see all the audience on my LinkedIn also. Let's join and, give me feedback that how was my this journey, and if any area of improvement is there, I would love to improve myself.
Ma'am, there's a question. I'll just read it out for you. Paul Allen and Bill Gates began their journey in Village in 1975. Today at Ratmon, Washington, Microsoft sustains to keep its environment eco-friendly. How would you sustain your dreams?
So I'll try to answer, but I didn't get the question clearly. If the somebody who wrote the question can ask me directly.
Ma'am, what are your views on sustainability? I mean, or how are you going to sustain your dreams?
I personally believe that my approach is working on my people. I don't know that how closely companies are working on this, but we are definitely going to create a history. Because here in my company, my vision is, one vision is changing lives, that is for sure. But in terms of policies for my employees, I was running an NGO for three years, and then I permanently closed that NGO because I learned something out of it, that people with whom I am staying very close, why I am not doing something for them. And I have opened up a non-profit, and I am working for, people who are not even around and I don't know about them. So first I need to solve the problems immediately, around me. So in Simba Quartz, one thing which I want to achieve over a period of time is I want to completely fund the health of my employees. I have already done that for my employees who have completed 5 years in the company, where we have an insurance policy of 10 lakh for my employee, their spouse, and all their immediate blood relations, including their kids, their brothers, sisters, everyone. So what I want to achieve, that anytime my employee or any of their immediate family member who is his blood relation be in a problem, we could fund that 101%, right? So he never has to spend money on that. And second thing, I want to fund the education of the kids of my employees till they want to study, whatever they want to study, wherever they want to study. So I know IT companies are very profitable. Most of you know that they achieve that profitability level they want to achieve. They have enough money. So rather than spending on buildings or something, which is very materialistic. So I have this approach. So I think if I will go along with this kind of approach, and I will not leave my village also, the bonding will be so strong that the venture will run on its own. It will sustain on its own. It can also run without Mandeep also. So there I am working on.
Ma'am, there's one more question. How did you first select your employees? Were there any specific qualities you wanted from your employees?
Getting selected in Simba courts is very, very difficult. We have a very strict criteria to hire people. Lot of interviews, and they go through a lot of things because the company is so employee friendly. In COVID times also, we could fire so many people, we could pay them less, we can lay off, we can do a lot of things. But we gave a hike to them because we knew now their parents are also not earning that. Sara jo unka mental peace, which I tried to win at that point of time, that they should not be disturbed mentally, and they have done so well. We were just 35 a year back, and now we are more than 100, right? That reflected in the growth of the company. So what was the question?
Ma'am, it was about that how you are selecting your employees. What all are the qualities that you're looking for?
Right. So there are two kind of employees in the company. One which we hire from outside, and the criteria is very strict for that. We only keep excellent people in the company. We don't go for even very good employees. And second is we pick people from my own village, and around my village, we train them for 1 year, for 1.5 years. And many of them we train for free. We keep a computer, a seat for them. But out of them also, we only select the cream to be, who will join the company. So the skill level, the skill set is what it is required in IT company is very, very high. We cannot deal a Canadian or a US client with a poor English or poor, coding skills. So we are training people very hard who are around my village. So there is a policy in the company where 50% of the employees will be from Punjab, and 25% of employees will be from within 10 kilometers of the company, and 50% could be from anywhere.
Ma'am, what does exactly Simba Quarters do? What kind of services are provided?
So in services, we are into IT services, we are into software development, both mobile and web. We are into e-commerce websites, we are into digital marketing. I have a passion for personal branding, so I help people for their personal branding also. So mainly we are into every kind of IT services, as well as we are into digital marketing.
Ma'am, how to make hardware equipment online? It's from Mr. Abhishek Prasad.
Can I have the question again?
Ma'am, how to market the hardware equipments online?
Okay. All right. So there are two ways. Any product you are having, either it's a hardware or it's a clothing or it's a shoe, anything you are having, it's very important to build up your own brand also, right? So you should have a website, you should put up that product there, as well as you should have your social media also. But if that product could be listed on other channels also, we have to do that also. So one exercise which is very important, somebody they can do with me also and otherwise also, if you want to sell a kind of product, right? If there is a difference between product and services, right? So if you have a product, so list out all possible sales channels. So if it could go through wholesale also, it could go through offline sales also, online sales also, and other channels also. I think in sales, we should not lose any channel, but we should finalize the percentage, that how much I'm going to focus on Flipkart, how I'm going to focus on Amazon, and on my own business. Because from other, suppose I have listed my product on Amazon, I am selling pen drives, right? So I have a brand Sparkle pen drive. So somebody who has bought Sparkle pen drive from Amazon, if you will be having your own website also and you will send them a discount coupon or your own branding, next time he might be buying from your website, and the chunk you are giving to Amazon, that will become your profit. And then again, there is no marketing cost during the second time. So you should list out all possible sales channels, and you should do something everywhere. And this is also applied to social media also. It doesn't mean that I'm a doctor, I should be more active on Facebook, or I should be more active on, or I'm an academician, I should be more focused on LinkedIn, right? So you should be having presence everywhere, but the percentage could be less. Like I'm focusing more on my LinkedIn, second number on Facebook, third number on YouTube. But today we need to bring that shift where wherever digital technology comes, we need to step in there. We should be doing things 360-degree. It's not the time to be 180 now.
Thank you, ma'am, for devoting your time and answering so patiently to all the questions from our participants. Dear participants, we'll now break 15 minutes for break and join back for panel discussion at 11:15 a.m. I request all the participants to please join back at 11:15 a.m. with the same link for panel discussion. Thank you. Participants, please do fill the feedback form. It's been posted in the chat box.
morning, all of you. Good morning, Mr. Vijay sir. Dr. Renu, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, Renu madam. Hi, everyone.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Very good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Manish.
Hi,
Thank
Dr. Manish.
Thank
Good
you so
morning.
much, ma'am.
Pleasure being here. Thank you so much for this
Hello,
opportunity.
sir. Pleasure is all mine, ma'am, being at this wonderful platform.
Yes.
Good morning, respected panelists. We'll start the session in some time.
As per your comforts, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Renu, for the update.
Thank you.
Dr. Amrinder, very warm good morning to you.
Very good morning, sir. Manish, sir. Hope you are doing well.
So happy to see you. I'm in a car. I'm traveling. There is
Okay, right.
another session happening in Delhi. So I'm
Okay.
taking this one virtually in my car.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Thank you for inviting me. It's all your grace and kindness.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining on time. Very good
Always
morning
there
to
for you,
you.
sir. Since I know you, you know.
Welcome back to a virtual international conference on actionable strategies and tactics for supercharging entrepreneurial growth. Instructions to the participants: kindly mute your audio and video. Participants can post their queries in chat box by the end of the session. A feedback form will be shared during the session in the chat box. It should be submitted by the end of each session. If you leave the session without filling the form, the certificate won't be issued. Participants will receive the certificate within 15 days of the conference. Now we are starting with a panel discussion on actionable strategies and tactics for supercharging entrepreneurial growth. I now request Dr. Arminder Singh to introduce the panel moderator, Mr. Vijaya Krishnappa, founder, Kosha Designs.
Thank you very much, Pam. Good morning, sir. Some people dream of success, while other people get up every morning and make it happen. Vijay Krishnappa is an entrepreneur. He is a founder of an award-winning startup in the social sector, Kusha.ai. Vijay is an alumnus of Bangalore University and XLRI Jamshedpur and has worked as a management consultant for over a decade before his startup journey. He has advised several Indian and MNC clients on business strategy, market entry, and public policy. Among several assignments, he has advised several clients, including one of the largest electronic brands in the world on their multicultural design strategy, one of the largest milk cooperatives in India on their marketing strategies, one of the leading sportswear brand of US on their retail strategy, policy advisor for Government of India and comprehensive handloom cluster development, or the state horticulture cooperative development a plan to improve the profitability. He has practiced a keynote speaker, panelist in several conferences organized by institutes such as FISI, Tech Textile, SRTEPC, Cotton USA, among others. He has also spoken in forums organized by institutes such as IIMS Bangalore, Jain Institute on the invitations. He founded Kusha, which is a technology platform that provides authentication, supply chain transferability, and branding solutions for the craft sectors. Kusha has developed innovative technology leveraging IoT and AI and cloud computing to support the craft sector. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Over
you.
to
Thank
sir.
you, Dr. Amrinder, for the introduction. And thank you for the invite. Thank you for inviting me for this session to moderate the session. So I start the session. First of all, good morning to all the delegates, organizers, as well as the panelists. And we had a wonderful sessions in the morning by Mr. Dinesh Nishkant, as well as Raj Singh and Mandeep Kaur, so which was very inspiring. So today, we are a very special, we are at a very special time where last few years, couple of years have been very volatile and a kind of strange for everyone, right? We never came across in our lifetimes such a situation. So on one hand, this period has been very challenging. On the other hand, it also provided a lot of opportunities for innovation, for entrepreneurship. As you see, every day people were struggling to find out solutions for the new problems which were emerging on a daily basis. So apparently this year 2021, on Google, the world searched for a sentence called "How do you start a business?" which is more than a search a phrase how to get a job. So it shows that there has been a shift which is happening on the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So with this brief, I would like to introduce my panelists. Let me start with Dr. Munish Jindal. Okay, so we have 4 panelists: Dr. Munish Jindal, Mr. Joe Houghton, R. Vishwanathan, as well as Dr. Emman Prabhadevi. So, let me start with Dr. Munish Jindal, who is a founder and CEO of Hover Robotics, and he is also a founder president of MentorX. He is a man of dreams who has stretched himself thin over being a master of everything, conferred with the highest civilian honor, the Karamveer Chakra by United Nations, I-Congo, and Noble Asian of the year 2008. A serial entrepreneur, a robostonaut, international business consultant, philanthropist, fashion icon, Mr. Munish Jindal is a multifaceted TEDx speaker, corporate trainer. So he is, being an entrepreneur himself, is an exceptionally talented professional who has over 20 plus years of industrial experience in liaising with both individual and corporate clients, advising and guiding working CAs as well as CS. So Dr. Munish Jindal is a game changer who has changed the face of industry and society forever. He has been appointed as Mentor of Change by Government of India Niti Aayog, Flash Mentor at University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, and also appointed in the Global Advisory Board of MSME Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India. So with this brief introduction, I heartily welcome Dr. Munish Jindal. The delegates as well as the panelists would like to learn more about your experience. Welcome again.
Thank you so much for your kind words. This really, really means a lot to me. Just give me 30 seconds. I'm getting into my car because there's lots of disturbance here, and I would really love to share my thought process. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. So
thank
you, Mr. Vijaya, for such wonderful words of kind words towards me. Well, today we are here at Jain University. Kudos to Jain University for making this possible, a 2 days virtual conference on entrepreneurship. This is really the need of the hour. We really need to build the ecosystem towards entrepreneurship because these entrepreneurs are going to kickstart the economy. And as people are wondering that it's pandemic going on, what's going to happen? So let me remind you, it's 8 billion people, all locked down, sitting inside their homes. So the world is really, really beautiful. Imagine once this world is going to kickstart, all the 8 billion people going to come out, and how beautifully it's going to kickfire the economy. So we are really a wonderful and a beautiful world is waiting for outside for us. And altogether, what we need to do is we need to join hands. We need to be with each other. We need to coordinate. Coordination is the key for that. And if we have to compete, we need to compete with ourselves. We are doing vice versa. We are competing with the world and we are coordinating with ourselves. We need to reverse the cycle. We have to compete. Let's compete with ourselves. Let's outgrow ourselves. Every day, let's better out ourselves from the previous day, and let's coordinate with the people all around the world unconditionally. Let's make others rise. If we start coordinating, trust me, this world is really going to be a beautiful place for each one of us. And believe me, I'm letting you know this from my personal experience. It's been 25 years I'm working, running 9 different ventures in 12 domains in 65 countries. Coordination has given me everything. I can quickly cite you a quick incident whereby I launched my company in robotics from my hometown, Ludhiana, Punjab. I wanted to go pan-India. I came to know one of my friends with whom I did my graduation. He was heading one of the logistics company. I called him up. I was like, hi, buddy, and I'm looking forward to go pan-India. You know what he said? He said, Munish, do the business you're doing the way you're doing. You don't have to do anything extra. I will take care of your logistics pan-India. So guys, just one friend, call of 2 minutes. From my town, I went pan-India. And here I can see there are 563 sitting in this, conference. If each one of you today pledge that you're going to be together with each other, imagine tomorrow, few of you going to be the entrepreneurs, few of you going to have your startups, few of you going to have your own, in the corporate world. So altogether, you're going to have the collaborative power of 563 organizations. So let's take a pledge today that we're
Awesome.
going to coordinate and we're going to make each other rise. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Mr. Manish. Yeah, so thank you very much for giving that brief and very inspiring. You know, it echoed something which was discussed in the morning where, you know, Dr. Raj Singh was saying about unusual suspects in your team, right? You know, you never know, you know, with a call, you know, there's so much can be discussed. So it matters who's there in your team. I'm sure most entrepreneurs has experienced this in some way or the other. Okay, so with this introduction, let me move to the next panelist, eminent panelist, Dr. Emman Prabhadevi. She is working as an associate professor in Department of Management Studies, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Jawaharlal Nehru, Salai, Chennai. So she has organized an event, Unlock 2021 Business Plan Competition. She's conducted various workshops on entrepreneurship, My Story sessions and conferences, B-Plan competitions to develop entrepreneurial skills among students, fraternity. She organized workshop on transforming business ideas into workable business model. And she headed Udyami Acceleration and Innovation Cell at Department of Management Studies in SRMSIT Chennai. She was the coordinator for Rural Entrepreneurship Development Cell, REDC, at SRMIST Chennai. She was associated with the University of Nizwa and organized an international conference on reinventing business practices, startups and sustainability at SRMSIST in 2021. So she's been in the space of building entrepreneurs, building capability of entrepreneurship within the institutional framework. I heartily welcome you, Dr. Emman Prabhadevi. Thank you very much for joining this panel, and we look forward to interact with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for these wonderful words. Let me take this opportunity to thank everyone, the core team, the organizing team, for inviting me to be a part of this panel discussion. Before we start the session, I would like to appreciate and wish the core team, the organizing team, to take this title, actually, the actionable strategies and tactics for supercharging entrepreneurial growth. As someone said, it is a need of the hour. Right. Even though we are meeting up with the VUCA environment, VUCA economy, the volatility, we are able to see only the volatility past. We were all seeing the pandemic situation in various countries, various regions. People are struggling to get into their businesses, get into their jobs, get into their employment opportunities. Even though we are moving towards the pandemic situation, we are finding out the solution for all these volatility as well as uncertainties. So this is the right time. You have taken this content, this title, to be a conference title, and also given exposure to the students fraternity as well as industrialists, how far we can develop the whole ecosystem which will support and integrate all parts of society, the major role players in ecosystem, and how do we come out with a solution for each and every single problem of our economy. So we would like to appreciate for this, and we will again go ahead with the content on the discussion. We have so many eminent speakers in our panel discussion. I'm so privileged and blessed to be part of in this panel discussion. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. So with this introduction, I would like to move on to the next introduction of Rotarian R. Vishwanathan. So R. Vishwanathan is a professional with 19 plus years experience in entrepreneurship, international business, startup and innovations, learning and development, business development, project management, and soft skills training. He has been a soft skills trainer since 1999, and he has trained more than 54,000 people from corporate, colleges, schools, and NGOs, and trained 450 school, college faculty and trainers. So he has trained professionals across multinationals and esteemed marquee organizations like TCS, CTS, Mitsubishi, Google, Siemens, among others. So he has also trained across in educational institutions such as Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, MEPCO, Aditya Educational Institution in Punjab, ITM University, Gwalior, RMK College, AKT groups in Tamil Nadu, and many more. So he is an active Rotarian with Rotary Club Madras, received appreciation from His Excellency Governor of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Surjit Singh Barnala, as well as Mr. Dr. Kalainar Karunanidhi, former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, for web development for Tamil Nadu Press Photographers Associations, bilingual in a short span time. With a deep experience in dealing with several of the students, faculty, and several of the professionals, I am sure I look forward to great inputs from Rotarian R. Vishwanathan, and our hearty welcome to this session.
Thank you so much for Vijay ji, and thank you so much for Renu madam. And the conference was recommended by one of my friends from Professor Kabali from Oman, and he's also one of the key person. And today I'm very happy because one great thing is in this super changing, we are talking about the super charging entrepreneurial growth. So the super changing environment, congratulations to the entire conference team who have put together, because even today, the online meetings have become too much for people, and a lot of people are not interested to join conferences, but we have 500 plus people. I'm very happy about it, and it's a great thing. I have been privileged to be with Suresh Amandam, who's one of the top entrepreneurs in Tamil Nadu, this Sunday on a workshop. He was talking about the pyramid of the entire ecosystem in entrepreneurship, where the top pyramid talks about the unicorns and sunicorns, and the bottom of the pyramid is like the self-employed homopreneurs. There's a mid-layer, which is called the mid-layer entrepreneurs, who have the capability to give employment for between 5 and 20 people. And he talks about the mass entrepreneurship should happen in that area. So we need not create multi-billion babies, multi-billion dollar companies now and then, or too many. If we could create few companies that can employ 5 to 20 people in their company, those are the companies that should come in huge numbers. They're talking about fintech, they're talking about textile tech, and I'm glad that last week, Vijay, I was part of a pitch fest in Coimbatore, and was very astonished. I saw 23 company presentations, most of them were college students. One of the guy was presenting an idea to clean the aerospace, and I was just looking at him. You're a college kid, and you're saying that you want to build a satellite, and he was asking for $9 million, Vijay. So he was asking $9 million to start up his initiative. But I looked at him as a little crazy. After the meeting, I spoke to him. What's your realism, man? You're talking about $9 million. Who is going to give you? And he says that, sir, we are talking with the company. And I was astonished to learn about the company. The company is SpaceX. And he said that we are talking with Tesla. And they're interested in our idea. So that's the level of entrepreneurship going on nowadays. I'm glad that we definitely have supercharged entrepreneurs already in the ecosystem, and I'm happy to be a part of this conference where we're going to discuss about the actionable, because rather than discussing in the academic side that the knowledge only, it's an actionable strategies and tactics. I'm looking forward to listen from you all guys. And last but one point, JGI used to be my client when I had a software company in 2003, 2008. So Jain Group of Institutions, we developed about 11 softwares for them. And with this, back to the convener to coordinate, and let's get started. Looking forward. Joe, I saw your photograph website. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vishwanathan. So, thank you for your inputs on having more smaller firms rather than unicorns, right? It makes a lot of difference, especially not just in the metros, non-metros. It can be a significant economic driver in that sense. So our last and the most, he's our another panelist. I would like to introduce Joe Horton. Joe Horton takes online. He's directing and lecturing on management programs at UCD Smurfit Graduate School of Business right now. So he undertakes online teaching and consultancy towards project and risk management, management development and coaching, non-profit corporate governance, distributed team working, software development and implementation, ROI analysis, and in addition to that, photography training as well. So he is a multi-talented, where across he's a certified Adobe certified expert in Lightroom 5. He was Nikon's trainer in Ireland from 2006 to 2018, and has released first book Streets of Dublin, a street photography guide, in September 2019, and second, Take Your Time, the art and craft of long exposure photography, in July 2021. Both are available on Amazon. Joe works regularly. He delivers talks all over the world to camera clubs on a number of topics. And his latest is not just a expert in photography as well as management, but also he has an entrepreneurial venture, which is Sherpa Press. He is a publishing house set up to help people publish their books, ideas through Amazon KDP. He has worked 20 years in software and telemetry development, specializing in management and implementation of mobile field force systems, CRM, Salesforce automation. This involved managing and leading teams all over the world for several multinational corporations, including W.R. Grace, Betts Dearborn, and General Electric. So Ms. Jo Hutton is kind of, is like Sir earlier was mentioning about unusual suspects. So he's all in one, both from entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, being a trainer, being consultant, and being a photographer, as well as an expert in photography. Okay, so hearty welcome to you, Mr. Joe Hutton. Look forward to talk to you and learn more from you. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody, from a very cold Dublin, Ireland this morning, where it is now 6 in the morning. Yeah, great to be here. Thank you so much for Dr. Amrinder for inviting me. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, looking at the title of the conference, I was very interested to perhaps be a part of the panel, because I don't just teach in a business school. I think a business school must be an incubator for real growth, for real change. And my approach to teaching has always been, I'm not an academic, I'm a businessman who teaches. And I think everybody who is speaking at the conference today is sharing their experiences, but hopefully in a way which will allow everybody listening to take at least one nugget. And you may only need to take one nugget, one thing that moves you forward. Dr. Manish just said, join hands. And we've got what, 432 on the call right now, and it's fluctuating up and down. And that's one of my key points, is reach out to the people you know and ask them to reach out to the people they know. And there's nothing you can't do, whether you start up a 2 or a 5-man business, or whether you end up with a pan-Indian or global business. It starts by joining hands. It starts by reaching out to each other. Nobody has all the answers. You can multitask and multitask and multitask. There's only 24 hours in any one day. But if you multiply up the capability by reaching and creating a small organization, which then can grow into a bigger organization, there's anything you can do. And as you can see from a conference like this, there are many people willing to help. You generally just have to ask the question, help, and somebody will be there to help you. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to participating today. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you very much.
You're muted.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Joe. I think it's been very simple suggestions, but I think most effective, I would say. So let's begin with our panel discussion now. So to begin with, let's just understand, because there's now entrepreneur is a buzzing word for the last 4 or 5 years. It's everywhere. Is it a fad, or what is it, the entrepreneurship about? And more important is how important entrepreneurial growth is for India's context, right? Indian economy. So I would like to hear from the panelists, what do you think about, how important being an entrepreneur or having a million or billion entrepreneurs within India? maybe I would like to start with Munish, are you here? Munish Jindal? Yeah. So, yeah, maybe I'll start with Mr. Vishwanath. Vishwanathan, can you share your thoughts about how important entrepreneurship is for India?
Yeah. So I was just thinking about when you are framing the question that are you trying to ask, is it entrepreneurship real or fake? I'm just thinking that we're going towards that area. So one big thing which I see between the understanding of the word entrepreneurship and business, there's definitely a huge gap. Vijay, Krishnaba, I have to say. Do I call Vijay? Which is easy?
Absolutely. Okay. You can call me.
So that's how it works. The differentiation between a business and entrepreneurship itself is a biggest thing which people need some kind of a clarity. They think that if I do something on my own, it's an entrepreneurship. It's not. So just to give you a gist of it, we have an ideal customer profile, we have an ideal customer's problem, and your unique solution. This setup is called an entrepreneurship. Not that you start in another sweet shop, you start in another textile store. It's definitely not an entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something unique. So you identify a customer profile, and then you find their problem, and you find a solution. For example, how did Uber, Ola came up? That's what is called entrepreneurship. People have a problem of calling taxi, and then they figure out it could be done with the app. That's called entrepreneurship. People had a challenge of connecting with people, so they figured out Facebook. So it could be anything in India also. I'm very patriotic. I live in US for the last 7 years, even now. But I'm currently in India. Since June, I'll be back again to US by January. What I'm trying to say is I'm patriotic, but I'm saying is we need a huge understanding on what's entrepreneurship, what's business. So talking about your question on the importance of context for India, I would say when the Prime Minister announced this year about the $5 trillion economy, and without this mass entrepreneurship, I wouldn't say that it's on the shoulder of Prime Minister. It's on the shoulder of all the people who are listening to this conference. Start something new, find something new, innovate, and incorporate technology in it. See to that it can scale to a larger scale. People find out something unique that when we go into the problem solving of a particular niche customer, they are creating as if they are creating a Lamborghini. We need someone who can create a nano car. We need people who can create like a mass solution provider so that the scalability can go high. So in context of your question, Vijay, I would say we need entrepreneurs, as we've been talking about some years ago, that we need jobs. So we need to talk about we need entrepreneurs. They only can march the country towards this $5 trillion economy. I think Karnataka has announced about some $1 trillion economy. Tamil Nadu has announced for $1 trillion economy. Currently, we are at 300 billion, which is like a huge shift which is required. So whatever the leadership of the country or the state talks about entrepreneurship, these are all with the belief that there are people there in conference sitting in Bangalore talking about actionable strategies that they will create companies after this conference. So over to you, Vijay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the inputs. And Dr. Prabhadevi, so if you can share your thoughts about how important entrepreneurship is.
Yes, you were mentioning about entrepreneurship is a buzzword right now, right?
Yeah.
Even we can say that few decades ago, entrepreneurship was the last choice for the young generation. But at present, people are taking that as a first opportunity, right? They are thinking about instead of thinking about their job opportunities, the employment opportunities in front of them in an economy, they are searching for a business opportunity. They're getting out with the proper ideas, right? They are trying to convert that idea into proper opportunities. Since we have several avenues open to our students' fraternity, I can talk on behalf of the students, right? It has a major role for education institutions. As Sir Vishwanath Sir was telling about responsibility. We need to create the ecosystem properly to move towards achieve something good for society. So it is again the responsibility of education institutions for improvising the entrepreneurial developmental activities with the students' fraternity. That is very much important nowadays. That is what I feel. And moreover, it is considered that as a national asset. The entrepreneurship is a national asset. The entrepreneurs are the drivers of this national asset. Actually speaking, it is a dynamic process. We can say entrepreneurship is the process, the fully dynamic process. Not only it increases the wealth of our nation, and also it provides the value for our well-beings. Of course, it plays a role for our whole nation. It gives transforming the society to move forward, to take up to the next level in our society. So it is very much important to take up this content, the concept entrepreneurship, to be a part of this growth, economic growth, as well as economic development. Over to you, Mr. Vijay.
Yeah, thank you. And coming to you, Joe, so you are operating in a developed country, so in a developing country for us, this is the entrepreneurship is a kind of next wave to to boost the economy. So from a developed country's perspective, how do you see entrepreneurship has played and is playing a role in a country's economy or country's growth?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You asked me to come and talk from Dublin, Ireland, which is one of the little countries in the world, and then we've got this mammoth kind of India. I mean, if you look back at the kind of the growth of entrepreneurship, though, and I mean, you asked the question: is entrepreneurship a fad? Is it just a flash in the pan? Okay, in 1950, 26% of India's GDP was from entrepreneurship and small companies. Yeah, in 2021, it's 54%. Okay, so more than half of India's GDP is fueled from the entrepreneurial sector, from the small businesses, from what Viswanathan was saying earlier on. The 5 to 20 man or person businesses, because it's not just men either, is it? It's women as well, who are doing this. So, 80% of people in India are in that self-employed or informal sector. It's a massive part of the economy. And in Ireland, it's always been a massive part of the economy. I'm actually British. I was born in England and I moved to Ireland 20 years ago. And when I moved to Ireland, I was still working in the multinationals and I was, running teams all over the world. And one of the things I learned when I got to Ireland was that almost nobody in Ireland only has one job. They all do different things. They all have another string or another couple of, sideline businesses or gigs or whatever it is. They may not be paying the mortgage, or they may not be, enough to kind of, raise a whole family or whatever. But these multiple income streams encourage creativity and encourage development. They pour money back into local economies and they help train people around them. If you see your dad or your mum running a small business, whether that's their main income or not, you grow up with that, don't you? That's in your head. You're seeing that from the people that are around you. You're getting inculcated with the values of hard work, of doing new things. There's a very famous podcaster, for any of you that listen to podcasts, a guy called Tim Ferriss. Yeah, and he interviews people who do amazing things in all walks of life. And I remember 2 or 3 years ago, he was on a podcast, and he said something that always stuck with me, and I've done it ever since. He said, make something every day. Okay, create something every day. It doesn't have to be anything big. It might just be a flyer for your next event or your next product or whatever it is, but make something every day. Okay, and I think from an entrepreneurial point of view, that's a really, really great nugget, and I'd be really interested to hear what the other panelists, who have built businesses, many businesses, perhaps Manish, I bet you do something for your business every day. so yeah, that might be an interesting thing to mine.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, I think very valuable inputs there. So, however, today it's as Ms. Munish was saying, as well as Joe was saying, it's never about one person, the entrepreneurs. It's about connects. It's about reaching out. It is about taking help and growing together, right? So, so what it means is about ecosystem. So, really, is there an ecosystem around building more entrepreneurship as a base? Right. So there are challenges today. Most people, there are certain communities where business or entrepreneurship is pretty natural, but in several communities, it is not so. Wherein, every time somebody offers, saying that I'm going to start business, right from their parents, everybody is going to start saying that no, business is risky. You might fail. There is a stigma around failure. So this whole thing now comes to saying that how well our entrepreneurial ecosystem culturally, as well as from even the stakeholders like government, right? How government is doing, how private are doing, how as a community entrepreneurs are treated matters a lot in growing this. Being risky is risk taking, right? I just wanted to hear your feedback about and now that Munish is also here, so maybe you can club the both answers in terms of and say that how do you experience this ecosystem right now, and what is your experience as how did your parents kind of say or react versus how did your classmates treat you, how did your peers, your colleagues, everybody treated you as an entrepreneur? Yeah. So what is your feedback about the context?
Wow, thank you. I was listening to my fellow panelists, and there's some wonderful insights they have shared. When we're talking about entrepreneurship, see, entrepreneurship is not, a product. Entrepreneurship is not something that you can, it is a process, and it is a ever going process, ever evolving process, why you live your life every day. I still remember my last day of university, 2005. I got offered green card to Australia and a package of 6 million. Imagine everyone here, all the students, last day of your uni, on your right hand, a green card to a certain country and a package of 6 million. Life sorted, settled. You know what I did? I rejected both of them. People called me stupid. People said that something's wrong with this guy. Something's really has gone stupid with this, that he is rejecting. You know why? Always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to work for myself. I rejected working 40 hours for someone, whereby I'm now clocking 140 hours every week myself. I'm usually working 20-21 hours every day. And I never found the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So you know what I did? I created it. Behind my head, you can see a logo saying MentorX. Its vision is to educate, to empower, to elevate. So we are basically the ecosystem enablers. If you need any kind of skill set, you want to develop outside the purview of your education, you feel you need AI, you need robotics, you need soft skills, life skills, anything you need, we are there. You need to empower. If you have an idea, like youth, we come across some youth. They're passionate, they're dedicated, they are devoted, they have an idea, but they don't know how to start it. So we're there to polish your ideas. You need an incubator, whether virtual incubator or a physical incubator. We have incubators all across the world. We are there for them. We're currently operating in 65 countries. And if you need mentors, we are connecting them with industry leaders, CEOs, CTOs, CHROs directly. They can interact with them, they can sit together with them, they can have coffee with them. They're gonna have be their mentors. And this way we are letting them start their businesses. I come across youth, they say, sir, we have an idea. I say, okay, that's fine, you have an idea. And we're waiting for funding. Then I literally have to pull them that boss, startup means you have to start it up. An idea is not a startup. And if you have an idea, why you are waiting for funding? Maybe start small, pull in bit of funds. I started my hover robotics with 35,000 rupees. That Joe, that is like 400 US dollars. Started my company with $400,
Yep.
35,000 rupees in Indian currency. And from there on, 2015 till in 2021, I built it up. I had my fair share of failures, struggles, and all. Today, it's a multi-million-dollar startup, self-funded, #1 in India, and among top 5 in the world. And I'm just another average human being. If I can do it, each one of you can do it. I'm not even a Google generation boy. In my times, the biggest luxury used to be a landline phone. We had to pay a security deposit and wait for 4 years to have a landline phone. And imagine today, if they don't even get a text in 4 minutes, an activation text, they are after the life of the store owner that why I haven't got the activation text. So you can build it up very beautifully, very wonderfully. The only thing is just start small. Maybe build your prototypes, and innovation should be at the forefront. The key to entrepreneurship is innovation, creation, production, disruption. And while doing that, when Vijayaji, you asked the culture around entrepreneurship, we have to make sure that whatever work we're doing, it should be ethical. Ethical work should be at the forefront. Entrepreneurs should be deployed ethically, knowledgeably, and successfully. Only then you're gonna be a successful entrepreneur in the long run. And when and at the forefront of the entrepreneurship, make sure you create leaders. Being a leader, it's your moral responsibility to create more leaders. So make others rise. That should be the culture, ethos, spirits of your organization. Make people at the forefront, let them have the credit, make them rise. Thank you.
Vijay, you're on mute.
Sir, you're on mute. Vijay, sir, you're on mute.
Yeah. So Dr. Prabhat, thank you, Dr. Manish, and I would request, Vishwanath, you have something to contribute?
I'll just contribute something on a lighter side. And Munish doesn't look like he's from a I thought he's out of college last year.
Yeah, true. So, Dr. Prabhadevi, what do you think? Since from an institute, you come from an institutional side.
Exactly.
So, how do you see that this whole context is shaping up? Entrepreneurial ecosystem is shaping up from an institutional perspective.
Yes, exactly. See, the ecosystem, we are connecting or integrating various major role players, right? There are so many role players are existing in this ecosystem. For instance, we can say government interventions, common policies and regulations, education institutions, student policies, mentors, advisors, or even angel investors, venture capitalists, all together. For each and every single entrepreneur, they should understand who are all their major role players to deploy all the resources together to conduct that as a business. So every entrepreneur, they should understand what is the kind of a ecosystem they should connect and integrate with, which they are able to, they are developing the capabilities of in the market to do the business, to conduct the business, to fulfill the needs of the society. So that is very much important. And a few more importance I can say in terms of not only the startup ecosystem is trying to provide job opportunities, they are able to get you the huge amount of entry jobs. Through the startup ecosystem, the startup, the community, they are able to provide you the entry-level job, which is very much important for us. Countries like developing countries like India, they are able to turn unskilled job holders into skilled ones. That is one more advantage we should see. And also, as Mitzer was telling about the bringing innovation as well as risk-taking are the two eminent the various aspects we are supposed to understand for entrepreneurship. So unless and otherwise we have innovative ideas, the creative ideas, design thinking, as well as risk-taking capability, we cannot go ahead further to start up a new venture. So the people have to come forward to take up risks. At the same time, they should ensure about deploying all the various resources together. Say, for instance, the entrepreneurs, they are able to mobilize or utilize the various resources kind of land, labor, capital, and so many resources put together in one single pool, one single group to make a profit, right? To make a revenue, and also to fulfill the needs of the whole communities. That is what the startup ecosystem is trying to do as a whole. Even in case of social entrepreneurship, there are so many social entrepreneurs. Not only they are trying to make a profit, and also they are trying to fulfill the needs or bringing down some solution for the social crisis as of now. So we should appreciate the startup ecosystem, especially it has a major role for education institutions. Also, they are supporting the students, they are encouraging the students to start up new ventures by creating new ideas. And also we are creating so many platforms to connect with the people, kind of investors, the funders, the seed funding capabilities, or bankers and financial institutions. We are able to connect with the people, students fraternity, with the other enablers. That is what the education institutions, the major role they are playing as of now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Prabhadevi. So, Joe, would you like to contribute in terms of how probably ecosystem in your case, what is your experience of how ecosystem kind of supports innovation as well as entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I mean, coming from, if you like, an educational institution, I think one of the challenges for education, and this probably holds true in India just as much as in Ireland, is education is set up on an individual basis, isn't it, around success, around you've got to pass your exams, and if you don't pass your exams, you've kind of failed. Yeah. Entrepreneurship's almost completely different. Almost, in order to become an entrepreneur, you've actually got to fail a few times to learn about failure and to learn that some things work and some things don't, and how to pick yourself up and how to move forward, learning from your failures. And I think one of the big challenges in formal and informal education around entrepreneurship goes back to what you were saying, Vijay, earlier on about failure, and about failure being part of the cycle, and almost a necessary part of the cycle. So whether it's naysayers in your community or your family or your circle of friends or whatever say, oh, you'll never be able to do that, or whatever. Well, entrepreneurs don't know the word no. They just try it. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, they pick themselves up again and they look back at what they just did and they said, okay, well, what caused me to fail? And I'll not do that next time. And now I'll do the next thing. And I may fail again, and I'll pick myself up again, and I'll try again. And if you can plug into the many supports that are out there, whether it's MentorX or whether it's the local enterprise support board or whatever, then you can leverage the collective expertise of the mentors and the people around you. But don't be afraid of failure. Failure is a learning experience, and we all got to fail to grow.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, I think in most they say that this education system has been kind of evolved over the years for the industrial workers, wherein you are getting educated for industry as a job, right? As opposite to what you said is about being entrepreneur is exactly opposite to that, where you tend to fail and be ready to fail instead, be more. I mean, I can really kind of understand this or experience myself in my journey, wherein every time there is a small opportunity, you just pick it up and try something. It works, it doesn't work, but keep moving on with the next idea and move forward. I think it's been something which is like becomes the DNA of an entrepreneur, learning, failing, something, picking yourself up and moving forward. Thank you very much, Joe, for bringing that very important aspect. And today, if I see Indian entrepreneurship, right, I would like, each one of you to say 3 major challenges. No description. It can be simple words. What are the 3 major challenges that you see as an entrepreneur in India right now, today? So maybe Mr. Vishwanathan, would you like to?
Definitely. Before I answer for the last question, Vijay, the last one is about the ecosystem. So I was just noting down some points. Like we have about 400 plus incubation centers, and our current ratio of entrepreneur and the incubation center is 150 entrepreneurs have 1 incubation center. That's the ratio currently. Maybe the ratio should go up. And I see the local entrepreneurs and seasoned businessmen should contribute, whether financially or mentor-wise, in the tier 2 and tier 3 places. That's the real inspiration, real number to increase the previous question. Coming to the current one, the major challenges. One, I see there is a huge knowledge skill gap in terms of entrepreneurship. What we've been talking about 20 years ago, Infosys was talking about the skill gap for employment. So we're currently talking about, we're glad that we're talking about the knowledge and skill gap on the entrepreneurship ecosystem asset. So we need to have more knowledge and skill session for student community on entrepreneurship. That's the first challenge I see. Second one, I see definitely a great mismatch of interested investors versus entrepreneurs. I can show at least 10 people who are interested to invest in an interesting idea, but there is no interesting idea for them. So that's the second biggest challenge I see. And the third biggest thing is about, at least that has eased, I would say, the community acceptance about an entrepreneurship. We have Joe in India. When an entrepreneur 20 years ago, when he says he's an entrepreneur, he won't get a chance to get married. Maybe he'll go bachelor for entire life. So that's something very common 20 years ago. At least now it's picked up that people are interested to marry, whether it is a men or women, because Joe is a very neutral man. I'm saying, Joe, whether it is a men or women entrepreneur, they had the challenge. Even today, I have a friend of mine who is 34 years old, still like a spinster, but she says, I would get married once I be successful in the venture. So community acceptance is the third challenge, Vijay. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I really agree with that. Maybe a few years back, about 5 years back, if you're a $1 million revenue startup or an entrepreneur, or versus you are an Infosys employee, if you're an Infosys employee, you are more likely to get a better bride. I totally get that. But I think the good part is, it's slowly changing now, with everybody right from PM, even the states talking about it, and even the whole startup scene now has changed. Wherein earlier, 4 years back with Startup India, there were about 500 kind of empaneled companies, and today we have 15,000. So, and Startup Karnataka, we are right in the hub of startup, where state government has got so many proactive policies to reduce the risk, and where they share your risk, including the financial risk in terms of grant, in terms of equity, in terms of seed funding, in terms of marketing support. You have whole number of today government is really willing to support anybody with a great idea and which can help boost the economy, create jobs. Maybe over to Munish. What do you think are three challenges?
See, the first and foremost challenge, I will speak more from the students' point of view, because I'm seeing more of students here, and I really want to see them getting as the entrepreneurs. The first and foremost challenge I see in them is the patience. The younger lot, they're looking for quick results. There are no quick results. The entrepreneurship, I will again say, it's not happening overnight. You know what happens? I come across youth, they say, oh, sir, we have started a company. It's been 3 months we're doing it. We're not getting the results. The only question I'm going to ask you here is, each one of you, that when you enroll for maybe you are undergrads, you go to your uni, 3 years, 6 semester, you burn your midnight oil, study dedicatedly, appear for your exams, and then after 3 years, uni takes another 6 months for the convocation, and after 3.5 years, you get the degree. It's not that you go to your uni for 3 months and you knock down to the dean's door. Hey, dean, it's been 3 months. We're coming to the uni. Where's the degree? So why that in your startup? Why that in your entrepreneurship? We call it 3 years gestation period. If you started something, dedicatedly give your 3 years to it. And what if you fail? What if you fail in your uni, in one of your exams? Do you come back home and you say to your mom, I failed in exam and tomorrow I'm not going to uni? No. If you fail in an exam, you reappear. And same is true for the real world. You realign. If you have started up your venture and you're failing somewhere, you look into it, introspect it, and realign your strategies and move on with it. Second thing is the struggle. They are not willing to move out of their comfort zone, and the entrepreneurship only begins at the end of your comfort zone. Someone asked me that what if someone pushes you down the cliff, what would you do? I said, if someone's going to push me down the cliff, I will think of making an aeroplane while falling down. So that is entrepreneurship. The come out of your comfort zone, make things happen. Third is, we do have skill gaps. We do have government policies good on the paper. I don't know how good are they in the practical. And people take it as an excuse. Oh, I would have done this if this policy would have been in my favor. If this, we don't need anything in our favor. You are doing it for yourself. You are one man army, right? You have to do it for yourself and make it happen. Then keep your clan close to you, make them move with you, build it big. It is like building an empire, right? From one person to from one man army. Every 3 years, I start a new venture. This is what I learned from my undergrads degree. That once I earned my undergrads degree, that used to be my only introduction, and people used to give me so much of respect. Oh, he's a well-educated lad, you know. So I thought, if in a 3 years I can earn undergrads, I can start a new company. So every 3 years, I start a company from the scratch, where I'm the clerk, where I'm the peon, where I'm the sales guy, where I'm the CEO. Build it up, build an empire, put it on autopilot mode with the other team, start a new venture. I started Hover Robotics, then I started MentorX 3 years ago, and I started it again from India. Then pandemic happened. First wave 20 countries, second wave we went into 35 countries. As of now, when I'm speaking, we are in 65 countries. And I assure you that by next year, whatever way the pandemic shapes up, we are going to be in 200 countries.
Awesome. Awesome.
That is the conviction you need. So all these things, if you can overcome the younger lot, I assure you, doesn't matter what idea you have, doesn't matter how vague, how big your vision is. Even if you
Yeah.
think of having your offices on Moon or Mars, you can make it happen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Monish. I think, being a first-hand serial entrepreneur, sharing first-hand experience is very useful for the students. And Dr. Prabhadevi, what do you think are the 3 things you think are challenges for entrepreneurs? Yeah, can you hear us, Dr. Prabhadevi? Hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Am I
what do
audible
you think
now?
are the 3 challenges? Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, there are 3 challenges I'd like to add on. The business knowledge, as Vishwanathan sir stating about the skill sets, right? The people, they have to develop their skill sets, especially the younger generation people. They should come forward to take up their training courses, or how do they develop their skills and knowledge to take up their new opportunities and new avenues in front of them. That is very much important nowadays in the current scenario. I can say, in the perspective of students' fraternity, people are hesitating to take up a new opportunity since they're not having that much of awareness. As you said, the government, state governments, as well as central governments, they are bringing lots and lots of avenues and opportunities, the policies and reforms, especially to the startup companies, to support them, to encourage them. Even the Make India policy or Digital India policy or Startup India ecosystem, they are providing lots and lots of support to the young generation, students fraternity, to start up their new ventures. So the awareness should be created. That is what the education institutions like us, we are trying to do that by conducting these kind of conferences, seminars, workshops. Even we are bringing out some of the practical exposure people like Vishwanathan sir and the other panelists. We are inviting all these eminent speakers to our institutions. We are bringing some practical exposure towards the startup ecosystem as well as startup opportunities in front of us. So that is one more thing we are adding on with that. And one more problem, I'm not saying that as a problem, we should say that as a challenge. The challenge that the students fraternity, they are facing that as the funding sources, right? They understand how do they go ahead with the sourcing of finances for the startup companies, especially. Even they have lots and lots of business ideas. They don't know how they are supposed to expose their business idea. How do they convert their idea into opportunity? Even though we are trying to bring in front of the spotlight, saying that this is how you have to project your business model in front of your investors or in front of your venture capitalist to exhibit your business ideas, the students are very much hesitant, and also they are not having that much of knowledge to go ahead or to explain about their business ideas. That is again a challenge that people are facing right now.
Okay.
Over to you, Mr. Vijay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Joe, what about your 3 cents?
Okay. Well, it kind of building on perhaps what Manish was saying, particularly earlier on. The first one is believe in yourself. I think you've got to have self-belief as an entrepreneur, because you will have bumps in the road and stuff like that. So definitely believe in yourself is number one. Have the confidence to ask for help. I think that's number 2. And whether it's from Mentor X or whether it's from the local incubator or whatever, but have that confidence to reach out and just ask for help, because asking for help will normally get something back to you. Warren Buffett is one of the world's greatest ever investors. He built up Berkshire Hathaway, amazing investor. He said that the biggest investment that he ever made, the most important investment that he ever made, was learning how to present effectively. Yeah. So communication, and Prabhadevi was just saying earlier on, communication, and students lacking the confidence or the knowledge to pitch an idea, to go and talk to people about an idea and stuff like that. So I think having that confidence. But then my third point would be, you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of rupees or dollars or whatever on formal education. Okay. And I mean, I know I shouldn't be saying that sitting with a university behind me like this, but there are increasingly now free online resources. I mean, one that just comes to mind off the top of my head would be Khan Academy. Okay. That was set up, a few years ago. So there's a lot of online knowledge out there that you can tap into now. If you've got a computer or you have a phone connected to the internet, there is a lot of information which is available to you that you don't have to pay for. Now, you've got to sift through it and stuff. But, believe in yourself, reach out to other people and educate yourself. And that doesn't have to cost, huge amounts of money. So they're my 3.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And so I could really connect with the points, some of the points which were made, especially, even earlier we made that, you start small, do small trials, right? My own experience is that while I was preparing for my MBA, a young guy came into the class, okay, and he said that, hey, this is after the class, the training class. He said, I can teach probability to you better than anybody else. Would you like to try my class? Okay, and we don't know who this guy is. He said that it's free, so I will teach you. If you are happy with my class, you can pay and take my class again. So we attended, and this guy was brilliant. He was simply teaching maths. I think that's it. Quants, he was very good at quants. And this guy was none other than Byju's, which is a large organization today. At that point of time, he had some skill. He wanted to create business out of it. He came to class and said that, hey, can I teach you maths? Okay, free. If you like it, take my class. So I believe that, this possibility of anybody being an entrepreneur is much more feasible now than anybody else. Imagine a guy who's asking door to door, and today is a unicorn as a company and a brand in itself. So I feel that we are at a very important place where having a billion entrepreneurs is much of a possibility than it was, say, 5 years back, because everybody's throwing their hats into this whole entrepreneurship basket. Even I was as an individual entrepreneur, I didn't know how to raise money. Okay, so I wasn't sure. It was like, I went with an open mind and say that I didn't know any connect. But then when your idea was there, you spread that word, like connect with people. So many people approached us saying that, hey, are you looking for money? Are you looking for money? So I feel that, it is not all that difficult to do any of this. Everything is possible today to raise money, to build technology. So yeah, so thank you very, very much for this. We have about, we are in the last phase. I want to understand, maybe as an entrepreneurship, as a career for students, right? Today, how does it, when career is today is about complete the course, join a job, grow, do masters, all this stuff, right? How does entrepreneurship become a career for the students? So to start with, there are a lot of government schemes today wherein if you have an idea and you want to convert that idea into a product or a business, government is giving a stipend for 6 months, 30,000 rupees, where they'll give money to you. It's as good as a entry level salary for the students. So I think there are various opportunities, various incubation centers which support you. However, I think I still feel there is a gap in a student considering entrepreneurship as a serious career than a job, right? I think that is the shift. When the day 50% of your students prefer entrepreneurship over job, I think that is a day we can say that entrepreneurship has really taken out, right? So I would like your views. This is the kind of last question I would like to ask. What do you suggest? How do we make it from an institutional or what changes can be made to make this happen? So, Joe, would you like to start the conversation?
Yeah, I think entrepreneurship is a mindset as much as anything else. And when and listening again to Manish and yourself, you don't just do it once, do you? Yeah. You start a business up, and then you start another one up, and then you start another one up, and then you start. And I think this is the thing with entrepreneurship. You're not putting all your eggs into one basket most of the time. I mean, look at Elon Musk. I mean, how many businesses has he started up? Yeah. And it's the same kind of thing. So I think entrepreneurship is a way of being as much as anything. And I know earlier on we had the ideal customer and we had, a particular problem and a unique solution. But you'll find one set of ideal customers and you'll come up with a unique solution to their problem. And you'll do it again, and then you'll do it again. And so entrepreneurship is building up multiple, I think, ventures and multiple income streams. I think there is still the place for, one job for 30, 40 years for some people. But I think that the world is actually moving to a space now where having multiple jobs across your career span and having multiple revenue streams, even in a single point in time in your career span, is much more acceptable and much more normal.
Thank you. And we have 5 minutes more for this session. Before we open up to Q&A, I request maybe each one of the panelists take a minute more and give their remarks on this. How do we build entrepreneurship at institutional level? Yeah, Prabhadevi, would you like
students,
to go?
they should come forward to explore new opportunities. So that is a very important thing. We should train the students accordingly, right? We should make them understand economical issues, this or that. Also, they can go for developing a new product, or even in the existing product, they can identify the new technological interventions through which they'll be able to interfere themselves into entrepreneurial ventures. So that is a one possible way we can make our own students to get along with the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And one more thing, they should understand the problem in front of us. They should identify the problem. Even during this pandemic scenario, there are so many startup companies. They were able to start up their new ventures by providing new products and services to the society and economy to support the pandemic situation, right? Healthcare industries, especially the healthcare industries, right? There are lots and lots of startup companies. They were launching their products and services during this pandemic situation. They were able to export the product to the other foreign countries also. So the students, they should come forward to explore the identify the needs of the society, needs of the economy. Based on that, they can go along with the new product development. That is the special thing they have to do.
Yeah, got you. How about, thank you very much. And how about Mr. Vishwanathan? Would you like to say something about it? You're to unmute.
Yeah, sure. I just want to give the final thoughts, which we're all talking about. Fail fast, fail small. That's the thing which I want to say about when Vijay said about starting small. So I have a few things to the participant who are listening to in large numbers. Number one, as an entrepreneur, you got to understand that it's always definitely that it's a very different lifestyle. You will get to have a chance. If you win, you may buy a private jet, and all these things are there. But you also understand that it's not so easy. It's very painful. It's very tough. It's also very challenging. So that's the first thing that you have to take before you jump into the entrepreneurship. And you got to definitely read, listen, watch, definitely lot of entrepreneur stories, whether it is a success story or a failure story, for sure. That's a main reason that we recommend the student fraternity to read the story of Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, for the matter. So you need to have that inspiration and then move on with what you need to do. And you got to understand that your generation is so large, not only in India, in the entire world. So I cannot think that I can just fake that I'm very young. But even then, if you look at my ID card, you will see the real age. So your generation is very large numbers in India and also across the globe. So I wish that, or I would say, I would even compel people that the classroom setup should go on and cut one session in their academics and make them watch Shark Tank for sure, and then put across to them. Then they understand that how my age people across the globe are doing and getting millions of dollars for their crazy ideas. I have a guy from Hyderabad who just made an edible spoon. If you remember that incredible edible spoon, then he's like got few millions. A lot of like that. So my dear friends, I would just keep three things in your mind: innovation, technology, scalability. If you keep these three words in your mind, that would definitely take you places in entrepreneurship. I would say whenever we talk to students in the past, because I was in training most of the time, which Vijay said, read about my profile, that I always say them, wish you good luck. I also do a lot of corporate training programs that we will come across one day in a bigger corporate like Google or TCS. But for the participants here, I'm going to say that wish you good luck, my dear friends, that hope to see you in some pitch fest or come across in a funding table where I started investing in startups. So let's see in the other side of the table. Wish you good luck, the future entrepreneurs of India. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Munish, you have to unmute.
Yes, thank you so much. I would just say that we are in Industry 4.0. That is all about technology, artificial intelligence. AI first world. What we have to make sure is that we have skill in AI first world. And entrepreneurship, I would say, you eat, you drink, you breathe entrepreneurship. That is how you build your company. If you're sleeping 8 hours a day, cut it down to 6 hours. Just by reducing your sleep by 2 hours in a night, you will have extra 42 days. Imagine, I'm extending your year of 365 days with an extra 42 days I'm adding on to it. If you can just cut down your sleep by 2 hours, 6 hours of sleep is more than enough. I think Joe would agree with me. Prabhadevi ma'am would agree with me on that, as well as Vishnathan sir would agree with me on that. That 6 hours of sleep is more than enough. Just cutting down 2 hours, you can have 42 extra days. And another thing is, if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But don't stop. You will reach to your goals. You will achieve your vision one day. But keep moving. And the third and the most important factor is, if you fail, fall in love with your failures. Your failures prepare you towards bigger journey. Everything, either it's going to be a blessing or a learning. Take lessons from your failures. Fall in love with those days when you're struggling. I literally struggled, literally loved those days, and you know what has happened? It prepared me for such a bigger journey. I am placed at a level where even I myself never imagined. It was a bigger journey. Read about more of the failure stories, how they converted it themselves into success. And with that, you can grow. And if you think I could be of any help to you, just Google out Dr. Munish Jindal. I'm available 24/7 at the discretion of each one of you. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Dr. Munish Jindal. Yeah, I think, rightly said, innovation, technology and scalability. However, maybe since, a lot of the participants may not be from the tech background, I would like to say I'm with you guys. I don't know ABC of technology, but as a company, we are a deep tech startup where we have AI, IoT based, cloud analytics based solutions we offer. So I think, though it's a technology is more of an enabler. So it need not be that, it cannot be, if you don't know AI, don't stop being an entrepreneur. If you don't know blockchain, don't do being stopped. I think there are enough resources, there are enough help you will get, Joe as well as Munish told, that all that you have to do is just go connect with the right people. So with this, I thank you for very inspiring as well as very enriching in terms of inputs for the participants as well as personally for me.
Yes,
Thank you.
I would, Vijay sir, I would like to add on to that when you said that if they are not from technology background, I would really like to state that I'm a commerce graduate. I did my bachelor's of commerce, my MBA finance, then I did my chartered accountancy CA, and you know what I do? I make robots, artificially intelligent robots. So domain is never a hindrance towards entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Just pursue your passion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And I really appreciate that. So with this, I would like to summarize some of the things, which were kind of this one. See, first is as an entrepreneurship, we were told that, ask question and make something every day. And entrepreneurship is not a product, it is a process. Okay. And so business, again, when you see entrepreneurship, it can be seen as more than a profitability as a mission. It was also spoken in the morning session. And another input was fail fast, fail small, and focus on innovation, tech and sustainability, and focus on building knowledge and skill gap. The way you learn everything else, even entrepreneurship is also something can be learned. Like, how do you target customers? What are the pitfalls? How do you improve the product? And have self-belief in you. Have confidence to reach out to anybody you want. If you need some help, even from PM, don't hesitate to just write a letter and reach out to anybody you can. And it has helped me a lot, wherein being unreasonable. I would say that call it as unreasonable when you want something to be done. And your communication, focus on your communication, how you can pitch your idea to others. And today, knowledge is available across the platforms. So don't hesitate to learn something new, understand new. For example, AI for business. There are hundreds of courses around AI for business. Can you take that course, build your knowledge and see how it can be applied in your business, right? So these are some of the important things. And I thank you for all the participants. Hope you liked it, the session. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to write here. We would like to answer. And I also would like to apologize that, we probably 5 minutes late in this session. Is it okay to extend for another 5 minutes?
Sure, sir. There's no such problem.
Yeah. So I request, all the participants, if you have any questions, we have esteemed panelists who can answer all your questions. Meanwhile, as the questions come, Dr. Ramakrishna has a question. Would you like to go ahead, unmute and yourself?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. I have just a basic question with the institutional interest. I've been an academician. So the question raised is this: how can an institution motivate students to pursue their passion outside the classroom? Among students interested in business, who actually can create and run a business of their own in their first year of study itself. A hint is that we have something called PCL. So can somebody from the academic interest help me gain an answer?
Maybe Dr. Prabhadevi or Joe, you can answer.
Well, I'll jump in since I'm on mic. Yeah, and I mean, I have my own students. I'm actually going into a semester now with my master's students, and I'm bringing in 9 existing small companies, in the kind of 1 to 5 person range size, and my students are going to work with those companies on some kind of company expansion plan. It might be bringing in a new product. It might be expanding into a new geography. It might be extending a product range. So the companies are going to come in with a challenge or an opportunity or a pain point of some kind. The student teams are going to engage with that company and are going to learn about growing a company, about facing the messy, difficult problems that real world companies have. And from doing that, from interacting with existing companies and existing entrepreneurs, they are learning. And some of them will go on to create their own companies, because every year they do. So I think if you can plug students into real companies and real entrepreneurs and bring them into the classroom and get them to talk and get them to interact with students, there's no better way of bringing entrepreneurship to students than actually exposing them to entrepreneurs and getting them to help the entrepreneurs. So I don't know whether that helps, Dr. Ramakrishnan. Prabhadevi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Just that have this fear of students' mindset who have a passion towards getting a job in an MNC, and students who wish to only pursue discussion and business ideas. So but
I mean, even getting a job in an MNC, I mean, if you've got entrepreneurial skills, if you've worked in companies or with companies as part of your studies, that makes you far more attractive to a big company, as well as, far more empowered to start your own up.
Thank you, Joe.
Any other questions? Yeah. Dr. Munisha, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I would just quickly like to add on to Dr. Ramakrishnan's query that when he's asking that to bring entrepreneurship, why don't you bring entrepreneurship to your campus? Well, every academic institute, they have TPOs, training placement officers, they have placement cells, but no entrepreneurship is happening in the real way in the institution. We are helping all the universities, colleges across the globe in the form of e-cells and incubators. What you can do is throw an ideathon in your institute, invite the ideas, entrepreneurship ideas, then have a jury panel, have the prominent CEOs, CTOs on the jury panel. If you need help, we can get it done for you. Then shortlist the ideas, whichever ideas are realistic, commercially viable, successful, or they're solving a problem. Provide them a space, maybe a table and a chair, and ask them to start their company from there, inside your institute itself. And have the best of the mentors. If you need mentors, if you need industry leaders, if you need know-how towards this setup, we are there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manish.
Adding on to these points, I would like to add a few more points. See, providing internships opportunities to the students, right, with the startup companies. That is also one more possible way of getting into the entrepreneurship, and they'll come to know about the challenges, what exactly the challenges and problems currently they are facing. So the students also, they'll come to know through these kind of internships. They'll come out with a practical exposure about the business problems, business issues, what all happening right now. And one more point, that we have a separate cell called E-Cell, the Acceleration Club Innovation Cell. So this particular cell, we used to conduct competitions like a business plan competition, business idea generation, 1 minute pitch. So these kind of activities also encourage the students to come out with their flares of ideas, right? They will also project their views and ideas, exhibit their views, kind of business models, the business model presentations, right? Through these many ways, we'll also encourage the students to go ahead with the entrepreneurial procedures. That is what I would like to add.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I think we are running short of time here. If you have any questions, we can take maybe one more question. Anyone has any questions? Okay, thank you very much. And I thank you. Before I hand it over to Dr. Megha, let me thank Joe, Prabha, and Vishwanath, and as well as Munish. Thank you very much for joining this session and yeah, giving a very insightful conversation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Over to you, Dr. Megha.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, the feedback link is being posted in the chat box. I request all of you to please fill the feedback link. On behalf of the Faculty Research Cell Samshodhana, School of Commerce, Jain deemed to be university, I deem it my privilege to thank and extend a heartfelt gratitude to the moderator and panel speaker for spending your valuable time and enriching the session and knowledge of the participants. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. We will now break for 30 minutes for lunch. Post lunch, the participants and paper presenters are requested to join the technical session research paper presentation by 1:15 p.m. with the respective tracks. The Zoom link for the same is available in the track sheet. I also request all the participants to join for valedictory session at 3:15 p.m. where the best paper will be announced. I request all the participants to please switch on your cameras. Participants, please switch on your camera so that we can have a nice picture. Thank you, Vijay sir, and all the panelists. We wish to see you back again.